What are you doing? We are in the office.
I think I locked the door.
Are you still mad about 3 years ago, Tomi?
What do you want, boss? Can you let go of me?
Why, so you can go on a blind date again? I promise to spend the rest of my life making it up to you. Please don't leave me, please.
Hey guys, welcome back to Moonlit Stories, where moonlight meets myth. You know, we always bring you juicy and amazing tales straight from the heart. Now grab a glass of wine, sit back, and let's give you some juicy gist. Don't forget to leave a comment, hit like, subscribe, and join the circle. Because here at Moonlit Stories, every story begins with you. Mom, it's her. I'm serious. Han Min-jun leaned against his car, phone pressed to his ear as staff hurried into the tall glass building in Seoul. Your daughter-in-law, his mother scoffed. You have said that since you were 15. This time I'm not joking, he said. Her name is Tomi. Just pray everything goes well today. He hung up before his mom could ask more questions. At that exact moment, a petite Nigerian girl in a simple blazer rushed past the guard, hugging a worn brown folder to her chest. Tomi Okafor, the girl he hadn't seen in 3 years. So annoying, Tomi muttered as she fixed her wig in the lobby mirror. I should just print expires after 3 years on my forehead. Her friend on the phone laughed. Again? Yes, again, Tomi sighed. First boyfriend dumped me when he relocated. Second one cheated after 3 years. Now I'm jobless in Seoul. Is it a curse? You're a returnee now, her friend teased. You're premium goods. A beg, Tomi snorted. Returnee core, Turtle and I paid school fees in dollars and still am hunting for internship. She ended the call, smoothed her skirt, and headed for the elevator. Ah! She froze. Still the same Tomi, a calm male voice said behind her. She turned. Her heart jumped. Jin Woo. Jin Woo stood there in a simple suit, hands in his pockets, watching her with that same quiet smile from years ago. You're here for the internship too? Tomi blurted. So even Korean rich kids are jobless now? He chuckled. I came to see if you still have that 3-year boyfriend shelf life. She hissed. A beg, leave me. 1 Lagos X in year 3, break up. 1 London X in year 3, break up. At least I upgraded every time. So I was the London one, he asked. Yes. And you expired, she said, lifting her chin. You left without proper explanation. He scratched his neck. We'll talk about that later. Before she could reply, 2 guys in suits walked past them, talking loudly. I graduated from Harvard, one of them said. Same here, the other replied. You did a 300 million won deal before? I've handled clients worth 10 billion. We should team up and crush this interview. Tomi's eye twitched. See these ones? They think they're already hired. She turned to Jin Woo. I have an idea. That look on your face is never peaceful, he said. What are you planning? Let's cooperate, she grinned. You pretend to be Manager Han, the interviewer. I'll be your assistant. We'll run a fake interview, frustrate them and chase them out. When they give up and leave, we'll be the only serious candidates left. Then the real interviewer will have no choice but to pick us. Jin Woo stared at her for a moment, then laughed softly. You want to scam your way into a job? It's strategy, Tomi said. Are you in or not? I'm in, he said. It's normal in the workplace. They slipped into the interview room before the others. Jin Woo sat in the middle seat, calm and straight like a real manager. Tomi sat beside him, holding a file as if she worked in HR. Next, she called. The Harvard pair came in confident. Sit, Jin Woo said in a cool, deep tone. Tomi cleared her throat. Our company uses 996. You work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. No overtime pay. Also, first 3 months, you pay the company training fee. The 2 men blinked. And, Tomi added, no dating for 10 years. Too fat, heart will fail. Too thin, low blood sugar, you may die. We don't like hospital bills. This is illegal, one whispered. You can leave, Tomi said sweetly. We only want tough people. One by one, applicants came in, heard the ridiculous conditions, and stormed out. Tomi was on fire, rejecting everyone confidently. In the middle of this, the real interviewer, Manager Han, opened the door. He froze. President Han? The room went quiet. Jin Woo stood up at once, walked over to him, and gave a small signal. A corporate staff quickly stepped in, swapped out his ID, collected Manager Han's card, and and politely let him out. Handle the rest outside, Jin Woo said calmly. I'll take over in here. Manager Han left, confused. After the last applicant stormed out, Tomi dropped into her chair and grinned at Jin Woo. We did it. We cleared all of them. Now we just submit our CVs and fight for the final slot together. Jin Woo leaned back, pulled the ID card he had just taken, and clipped it on his chest. Manager Han, interviewer. He gave her a slow smile. Joke's on you, Tomi. I'm the real interviewer. Her brain froze. Then she slid off her chair and knelt in front of him dramatically. Sir, I beg, have mercy. I really need this job. I can type, I can make coffee, I can even iron tie. Please don't throw me away. He tried not to laugh. Stand up. Not until you hire me, she said, pouting. Fine, he said at last. But you won't be an intern. Her eyes dimmed. You're rejecting me? You'll be my assistant, Jin Woo said. Report tomorrow morning. Board meeting, 8 a.m. sharp. Work under you? She asked softly. He met her eyes. You won't be dissatisfied, Tomi. Later that day, in the boardroom, the directors sat around the long table. From today, Jin Woo said, inside the company, please refer to me as Manager Han. Manager Han Sung-ho will act as vice president until further notice. The board members nodded. And far below that floor, Tomi was still hugging her offer letter, not knowing she had just agreed to work for the real boss. Tomi barely slept. All night her mind replayed the lobby, the fake interview, and Han Jin Woo's lazy smirk when he said, Joke's on you. I'm the real interviewer. By morning, she was standing in front of Han Group's glass building again, clutching her new staff ID. Assistant. To the manager. She went up to the 18th floor, got a brief orientation from HR, then a message popped up on her phone. Manager Han, come to my office. I have something for you to handle. In his office, Jin Woo leaned back in his chair, sleeves rolled up, hair slightly messy like he hadn't even tried. Tomi assistant, he said, teasing. Ready for your job from hell? Just give me the work, sir, she replied, trying to sound confident. He slid a blue folder toward her. This is the Han Group Resort project file. Worth billions of won. Take it down to the records room, sign it out properly, then bring it back. Don't lose it. Don't let anyone touch it. Don't let your 3-year boyfriend curse follow my project. Ha ha, she muttered, hugging the folder. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Records room. Signature. Stamp. Easy. On her way out of the building, she stepped aside to answer a call from her aunt in Nigeria. That was when she heard it. Tomi. Her spine went cold. She turned slowly. Tall, fair-skinned, sharp suit, American accent. Eric. The ex who cheated abroad. The one who took her money and left her. You, she whispered. He smiled like a wolf. Wow. Seoul is small. So you're here too. She tried to walk past him. Excuse me. He blocked her, eyes dropping to the file in her arms. Han Group Resort Project. He read the label. Perfect. That's exactly what I came for. He grabbed the folder. Tomi held tight. Are you mad? This is company property. Eric tugged harder. Don't pretend. Without me, you wouldn't even know what a project file looks like. I helped build my client list in Korea. That resort deal should have been my stepping stone, not yours. You stole from me and cheated on me. You're not stealing my job too, she hissed. People started staring. Phones came out. Eric leaned in, voice low and ugly. What did you do, Tomi? Sleep with someone in Han Group? From broke girl in the US to assistant in a chaebol company. That promotion path is very straight. Her ears burned. She pulled the file to her chest. Say that again and I'll scream. Give me the file, he snapped, yanking her arm. She stumbled. Her bag dropped. Let go, she shouted. A calm male voice cut through the noise. What's going on here? Eric turned. Tomi froze. Jin Woo stood there in a dark suit, expression cold. Beside him, a security guard and a uniformed officer. Eric sneered. Who are you? Her new sugar daddy. Jin Woo didn't even blink. He stepped forward, showed a card to the officer. I'm Deputy Manager Han of Daehan Manor Group, Han Group's partner on the resort project. And this is my assistant, Tomi Okafor. He's trying to rob her of an official project file. The officer nodded. Sir, let go of the lady and the documents. Eric laughed. Robbery? This is my hard work. Without me, Han Group wouldn't even. Tomi snapped. Without me, you'd still be begging for investors on Zoom. She tried to pull away, but Eric jerked her arm again. The officer stepped between them. This gentleman is disturbing public order. attempting to snatch confidential documents, and has already caused minor injury, the officer said. We'll take him in for questioning. Possible detention and fine. 2 officers cuffed Eric. You can't do this to me, he shouted. He glared at Tomi. Tomi, you seduced him too? Assistant manager, huh? Got the position by sleeping with him, right? Tomi rolled her eyes. You wish. He twisted toward Jin Woo. You really want this kind of woman as your assistant? Jin Woo's voice went ice cold. You don't qualify to evaluate my people. Officers, please remove him. He's affecting the image of Han Group. As they dragged Eric away, he still shouted. Without that file, the project will be mine. Just wait. Tomi clutched the folder, hands shaking. Jin Woo turned to her. Are you okay? She swallowed. I'm fine. But, you said you were just a manager for Han Group. Since when are you also deputy manager of Daehan Manor? He smirked. Since it became useful. Come on, Assistant Tomi. Let's take my billions of one file back upstairs before your ex comes running from the police station. Despite herself, she laughed. And followed him in. Tomi followed Jin Woo back into the building, still holding the resort file like a newborn baby. In the lift, he glanced at her. Next time, Tomi, if an ex tries to grab company documents. I should kick him first and shout later, she muttered. He smiled. You're learning. On the strategy floor, Manager Lee and a few senior staff were gathered around the meeting table, talking about the resort bid. The competition is tight, Manager Lee was saying. Blue Wave Group is our safest partner. They already understand our process. Tomi heard the way he said, understand, and frowned. Jin Woo walked in. Everyone stood. Manager Han, they greeted. He nodded, then pointed at Tomi. From today, Tomi Okafor will join the resort project team. Manager Lee blinked. As admin support? As the final decision maker on the resort project, Jin Woo said calmly. Silence. Sir, Manager Lee said carefully. She just joined the company. She's an intern-level assistant. Blue Wave has already prepared. I'm very good to my own people, Jin Woo cut in. A project worth hundreds of millions. In exchange, I only asked her for breakfast. He looked at Tomi. You'll get a formal memo before the press conference. Until then, everyone treats her decisions as mine. Clear? Yes, Manager Han, they all echoed, even though Manager Lee's smile looked like it was stapled on. 2 days later, Tomi walked into the joint meeting room in a simple blouse and black trousers, clutching her notes. Blue Wave's team was already there. At the head of their side sat Eric, in a sharp suit, legs crossed, acting like king of the table. Beside him was Manager Lee, almost bowing. Manager Lee forced a smile. Assistant Tomi, you're here. Pour a glass of water for President Eric. You know his style, latte type, not too hot, not too cold. Eric smirked. Long time no see, Tomi. Internship treating you well? Still serving tea. Tomi sat down instead of moving. I'm not here to pour anything. What did you say? Manager Lee snapped. You're just an assistant. Don't forget your place. Before Tomi could answer, the door opened. A legal officer from Han Group walked in with a folder. Official notice from the vice chairman's office, he announced. Regarding the resort project. He placed a document in front of Manager Lee and another in front of Tomi. Tomi read the heading and almost stopped breathing. Appointment notice. Project, Han Group, Daehan Resort Development. Final decision maker, Tomi Okafor, assistant to Manager Han. Manager Lee's face went pale. She is the decision maker? He stammered. The officer nodded. Her authority includes choosing or terminating partners. Blue Wave Group has no binding agreement until she signs. Eric laughed loudly. You expect me to believe this? She's a poor assistant who got in yesterday. You want me to bow to her? Tomi closed the file calmly. You'll listen in a few minutes. The press is already waiting. At the press conference, cameras flashed. Blue Wave's logo sat beside Han Group's on the screen. Manager Lee tried to rush forward. We are about to sign. Tomi stepped to the podium and took the mic. Good afternoon, she said. I am Tomi Okafor, final decision maker for the Han Group Resort project. Murmurs rose. She held up 2 thick folders. This is the original proposal Han Group drafted with our partner. This, she lifted the other, is the version Blue Wave submitted for final signing. She opened them, pages marked in red. The Blue Wave version cuts quality, reduces safety, and removes key clauses about staff welfare and construction standards, she said. It is perfunctory and shows no intention to truly execute what was agreed. Eric pushed forward. You're talking nonsense. That's still our project. I negotiated it. Exactly, Tomi replied. You tore up the first project file when you tried to steal it from me. You thought nobody would notice the changes. She turned to the cameras. On behalf of Han Group, I announce that we are terminating all cooperation with Blue Wave Group on this resort project, effective immediately. Gasps. Reporters scribbled. Flashes exploded. Eric turned red. You can't do that. You're just a voice came from the front row. She can, said Chairman Han himself, standing. Her decision represents mine. Illegal bidding and shady deals will not stand under Han Group. He placed a hand briefly on Tommy's shoulder, then faced the press. Eric stared at her, stunned, as security began to move toward him. Tomi met his eyes, steady. In front of everyone, she had finally given him the slap he deserved, without lifting a hand. Tomi didn't even enjoy the win. Yes, Eric had been embarrassed in front of cameras. Yes, Blue Wave's deal was dead. But as she stood alone in the empty meeting room later, the same old ache sat in her chest. $3,000. Back in America, she had been a broke international student, working part-time in a tiny store, saving every cent. Eric had come to her with that soft voice. Babe, if I can just get some seed money, I can start a small consulting company. When I blow, you'll be my queen. She could still see herself that night, counting crumpled notes, logging into her small dollar account, transferring almost everything she had, $3,000. Rent waited. Food waited. She believed him. 2 months later, she found chats. Other girls. Hotel receipts. A ring he bought for someone that was not her. And then, you're too clingy, Tomi. This isn't working. Let's break up. Now in Seoul, in Han Group's building, Tomi pressed her fingers to her eyes. A knock sounded. Assistant Tomi, Jin Woo's voice came softly. You're still here? She turned. He noticed her red eyes immediately. Are you crying because you destroyed Eric's company? He teased lightly. You feel sorry for your ex? Tomi let out a short laugh. Sorry. I want interest. He leaned against the table. Then why the long face? She swallowed. Back in America, I gave him almost all my savings. About $3,000. He said it was for his company. After that, he cheated and dumped me. I don't even care about him now, but that money, every hour I worked for it still pains me. Jin Woo's expression softened, the sarcasm fading. $3,000, he repeated. For a student, that's a lot. I don't want to be that stupid again, she said quietly. I don't want anyone to look at me and think I'm easy to use. He folded his arms. Good. Then let's do the opposite. Let's make him pay it back. She blinked. How? Sue him? Fight him on the street? I'm Nigerian, but I still like my freedom. Jin Woo chuckled. Who said anything about fighting? There are legal and dramatic ways to collect debt. Before she could ask, voices drifted in from the corridor. Team lead, do you want to throw this away? One junior staff asked. What is it? Another replied. VIP auction invitation. From Han Group. It's addressed to Blue Wave's president. Vice Chairman Han personally told us to send it. They say this auction is their last chance to repair the relationship. Tomi and Jin Woo exchanged a look. They stepped into the hallway. Manager Lee was there, turning the gold-edged card over in his hands. What's that? Jin Woo asked, though he already knew. Manager Lee straightened. A high-end charity auction next week. Han Group is co-hosting. We invited selected partners. For Blue Wave, it's basically mercy. If they show sincerity, maybe the board will consider them again. Mercy, Jin Woo repeated lightly. Interesting. Manager Lee hurried off. Tomi turned to Jin Woo slowly. Auction last chance. Eric loves showing off money he doesn't have. And you, Jin Woo said, eyes glinting, need $3,000 back. Preferably multiplied. She raised a brow. What are you planning, Manager Han? A clean legal stage, he replied. One fake royal necklace, one arrogant ex, one overinflated bid, and you walking away with what's yours. Tomi felt a slow smile pull at her lips for the first time that day. Okay then, she said. Let's plan the payback. The auction hall buzzed with low conversation as invited guests took their seats. Tomi stayed close to Jin Woo's side, clutching her bitter paddle. Relax, he murmured. You're not here to lose money. You're here to collect it. Collecting involves numbers, she whispered back. Big ones. My heart doesn't like big ones. Then let Eric's heart suffer instead. A staff member from Han Group stepped up to the podium and tapped the mic. Thank you all for coming. Tonight's highlight is a rare royal necklace, supplied through a special channel. The starting bid is 50 million Korean wons. Tomi swallowed. That's like what? Over $30,000. Focus, Jin Woo said. Watch who bites. Right on cue, Eric walked in with his new girlfriend hanging onto his arm, plus manager Lee tagging behind like a shadow. There he is, Tomi muttered. King of borrowed money. Eric spotted them and forced a smile, then leaned to his girlfriend. Baby, watch me, he said loudly. Tonight I'm winning that necklace for you. Han Group will see my sincerity. Bidding started. Korean 1110-000-000, someone called. Korean 1110-000-000. Tomi raised her paddle, voice steady. Eric turned, eyes narrowing. Tomi, you're still chasing luxury with intern pay. His girlfriend smirked. She probably came to see how rich people live. Tomi ignored them. Korean 1150-000-000, Eric said, lifting his paddle with a flourish. Tomi answered, Korean 1400-000-000. A few heads turned. Jin Woo leaned toward her. Confident. You said you'd handle it, she whispered. If I go to jail, I'm telling my mother you're responsible. Eric's smile stiffened. 400 million won was already painful. Manager Lee tugged his sleeve. President Eric, maybe we should stop here. Blue Wave's cash flow. Quiet, Eric hissed. This is the last chance to fix things with Han Group. If I win, the vice chairman will be impressed. He shot his hand up. Korean 11-000-000-000. A wave of noise rolled through the room. 1 billion won. Tomi didn't raise her paddle this time. She lowered it completely and sat back. The auctioneer counted down. Once, twice sold to President Eric of Blue Wave Group. Guests applauded politely. Eric's girlfriend squealed and hugged his arm. Baby, you spent 1 billion on me, she cried. You're amazing. Eric tried not to think about the actual number. Later, backstage, the royal necklace was presented in a velvet box. Close up, the chain looked ordinary. Why does it look like something from a cheap market? The girlfriend frowned. The appraiser smiled politely. The setting is a very common shell, but the stone inside is real. As stated in the catalog, royal-style necklace containing a rare-grade gemstone acquired by chance. No lies. Eric's face twitched. You mean I just spent 1 billion won on a necklace with a fake casing? The stone is authentic, the appraiser repeated. The auction was fully legal. You saw the description. You placed the bid voluntarily. There is no fraud here. Tomi stepped forward with Jin Woo. Congratulations, President Eric, she said sweetly. You finally spent money on a woman. Pity it wasn't me when I loaned you $3,000. Eric turned on Jin Woo. You set this up, didn't you? You tricked me. Jin Woo's tone stayed mild. We invited you fairly. You chose to show off. The payment goes through Blue Wave's official account, right? For the company's sincerity. Eric looked trapped. If you insist on keeping the necklace, you must pay in full tonight, the appraiser added. If you abandon it, we will still require a penalty fee for breaching auction rules. Tomi folded her arms. Either way, you're paying, Eric. Call it interest. His girlfriend pulled away, face changing. You didn't tell me your company was this tight on cash. Whispers rose around them. Isn't that the guy whose deal with Han Group got cancelled? He just spent 1 billion on a necklace shell. Tomi watched his ears turn red, that perfect business image cracking. Beside her, Jin Woo murmured, You'll get your 3,000 back. I arranged for a special contribution bonus to be added to your next paycheck. Her eyes widened. Seriously? I don't play with money, he said. Only with fools who think they're smarter. Eric slammed the box shut, trapped between humiliation and debt. Tomi smiled, a small, clean smile that reached her eyes this time. For the first time since America, she felt the scales tilt back in her favor. Tomi first saw it on her phone during lunch break. Breaking news. Blue Wave Group on the verge of collapse. She scrolled. After Han Group officially ended all cooperation, several partner companies have announced complete withdrawal. Anonymous staff exposed cutting corners, fake materials, and unpaid salaries. Rumors of the president embezzling employee funds for personal projects. Her fork froze in midair. Jin Woo walked into the staff cafe, holding his own tray. You've seen it. Tomi turned the screen to him. So fast. He sat opposite her. When a tree like Han Group falls on you, other trees move away. Nobody wants to stand beside a company that looks like a scandal. Still, Tomi said slowly. I thought it would take months, not days. It didn't start today, he replied. They've been doing nonsense for a long time. We just turned on the light. Staff whispered around them, some also reading the news. Isn't that the company that fought with assistant Tomi at the press conference? Serves them right. I heard their president cheated his girlfriend and stole her money too. Tomi coughed into her drink. Jin Woo hid a smile. Later that afternoon, as they walked out of the building, they saw a familiar figure at the gate. Eric. His suit looked less sharp. His eyes were red. As soon as he saw them, he ran forward and dropped to his knees in front of Tomi. Tomi, he said, voice shaking. Please. I beg you. People slowed down to watch. Tomi stepped back, shocked. What are you doing? Stand up. He grabbed the hem of her coat. Tomi, I know I was wrong. I'm not human. I treated you badly. I cheated. I took your money. Everything. I admit it. But please beg them for me. Talk to Vice President Han. Ask him not to kill Blue Wave completely. Jin Woo's face went blank at once. Eric continued quickly, words tumbling out. I can give you a breakup fee. Anything you want. How much do you want? 10 million won? 50? Just name it. I'll give you whatever you want, okay? Just ask him to give Blue Wave another chance. If the company dies, everything I built is gone. Tomi stared at him. Everything you built? She repeated quietly. What about the employees you underpaid? The suppliers you cheated? The girl you used as a walking ATM? I was stupid, Eric rushed out. Greedy. But I can change. Please, Tomi. Don't let me lose everything. I'm begging you. He turned and crawled a bit toward Jin Woo, bowing his head. Vice President Han, please, Eric said. Blue Wave's fall is too much. Give us one more project. Just one. We will follow any condition. Jin Woo looked down at him, eyes cold. Blue Wave didn't fall because of us, he said. It fell because of what you did when you thought nobody was watching. Eric shook his head. I can fix it. Just give me. Jin Woo cut in. You cut corners. You embezzled staff funds. You lied in proposals. You bullied people who trusted you. This is not bad luck. This is the bill coming due. Eric's voice cracked. I'll pay Tomi back. Double. Triple. Anything. Tomi spoke calm now. I already got my money back, Eric. With interest. What you're facing now doesn't belong to me. It belongs to you. Jin Woo didn't raise his voice. He simply turned slightly and said, Security. 2 guards jogged over. Please clear the trash from the gate, Jin Woo said. Don't let it block the entrance to Han Group again. The guards pulled Eric up. He struggled, tears spilling. Tomi, say something. Please. I loved you before. Tomi watched him go, her expression steady. You loved yourself, she said quietly. That's why you're alone now. The guards dragged him out of sight. Around them, staff slowly went back to their business. The noise of the city swallowed his cries. Tomi exhaled. Jin Woo glanced at her. You okay? She nodded once. I am now. Good, he said. Because we still have work. And you, decision-maker Tomi, don't have time to pity men who choose greed over sense. She gave a small smile. Yes, Manager Han. They walked back inside together. News about Blue Wave's crash didn't die quickly. For days, Tomi heard it in every corner of Han Group. Did you see the latest article? They said their president ran away with company funds. Serves them right. Imagine shouting at our own assistant that day. Each time someone mentioned the press conference, eyes would slide to Tomi. She would smile small, nod, and run back to her tasks. Jin Woo pretended not to notice, but whenever someone praised Assistant Tomi, the corner of his mouth moved. 1 week later, HR sent out a broadcast message. All staff, please gather at the main office floor at 10 a.m. for a brief introduction. Tomi stood near the back with other assistants. Manager Lee was in front, smiling too hard. He cleared his throat. Everyone, today we welcome a new supervisor to Han Group. Please clap for Supervisor Yumin Seo. A woman in a simple but expensive dress stepped forward. She bowed. Hello, everyone. I'm Yumin Seo. Please take care of me. Whispers flew instantly. Is that the Yumin Seo from dramas? She used to act overseas, right? I heard she chased one chaebol Heir all the way to America. Idiot, that's not a rumor. Netizens posted photos. And guess who that Heir was? Our Vice President Han. Tomi's fingers tightened around her notebook. Manager Lee beamed. Supervisor you used to work abroad and is also a well-known actress. From today, she will join our strategy and PR teams. Please support her. As soon as the brief meeting ended, staff pretended to go back to work, but eyes kept following Min Seo. She, however, walked straight toward the assistant's area. Her gaze landed on Tomi. "You must be Assistant Tomi Okafor," she said with a small smile. "I've heard your name many times." Tomi bowed politely. "Yes, Supervisor Yu. Welcome to Han Group. Can you show me around the office?" Min Seo asked. "I'm still getting used to things here." "Of course," Tomi said, forcing her voice to stay even. "This way." They walked together through the corridors as Tomi pointed out meeting rooms, departments, and the break area. "This is the main conference room," Tomi said. "We use it for big presentations and press briefings." Min Seo's eyes sharpened slightly. "Ah, the famous room where you exposed the bribery scandal with Blue Wave, right?" Tomi blinked. "You heard about that?" "I was still abroad," Min Seo replied lightly. "But even there, some business news crosses over. Young assistant stands up against corrupt partner company with vice chairman at her back." It trended for a while. She tilted her head. "You were very brave." Tomi gave a small laugh. "I just did my job. And did it very well," Min Seo said. "Actually, before I returned to Korea, I heard about you and Jin Woo many times." She said his name so easily that Tomi's steps slowed. "You know Vice President Han?" Tomi asked. "We met overseas," Min Seo replied. "We worked on some joint events." Also, her lips curved. "We know each other very well." Tomi's chest tightened, but she kept her tone neutral. "I see." They passed the glass wall of Jin Woo's office. He was inside, talking to two directors, his expression serious. For a brief second, his eyes lifted and met Tomi's. Then he noticed Min Seo beside her. Min Seo smiled and lifted her hand in a small wave in his direction, as if reminding the room that they shared some private history. "Anyway," she continued softly, eyes still on Jin Woo, "I'm in a bit of a cold war with my boyfriend right now. That's one reason I came back." Tomi frowned. "Your boyfriend?" "Yes," Min Seo said, finally turning back to Tomi. "Don't worry. You'll understand later." She patted Tomi's arm like they were already close. "For now, just take care of me in the office," Min Seo added. "We're going to see a lot of each other." Tomi forced a smile and nodded, but inside a small, sharp question had already started forming. "Who exactly is you Min Seo to Han Jin Woo? And why does it feel like I've just met my next problem?" Tomi hadn't even finished worrying about you Min Seo when a new problem landed in her lap. Mothers. A few days later, Tomi and Jin Woo walked into Han Group's lobby together, arguing quietly about a report. "You missed page 4, Jin Woo said. "I didn't miss it," Tomi replied. "I ignored it with confidence." They stepped out of the elevator and froze. Tomi, her mother, Mama Okafor, stood in the middle of the lobby like she owned the building, wrapper tied tight, handbag on her arm. Beside her was Jin Woo's mother, Madame Han, graceful in a neat suit. Tomi's soul left her body. "Mom, what are you doing here?" she whispered. Mama Okafor eyed the two of them, then glanced at the ID cards on their chests. "So you people are already coming to work together," she said. "And still nobody has told me, Mummy, we are dating." "Mum, it's not." "Tomi," Madame Han cut in, turning to her son. "You are almost 30. If you don't marry now, later nobody will want you." "Yama," Jin Woo sighed. "Can we not do this in the lobby?" "Why not?" she said. "The company must know their vice chairman is useless in romance." The two mothers traded looks and somehow agreed on one thing. These children needed help. Later that night, Tomi was still recovering when her phone buzzed. "Mama Okafor, I have fixed your life. I registered JNWO on a dating site. Tomorrow, blind date. 7 p.m., don't be late." Tomi almost dropped her phone. She called instantly. "Mummy, why are you putting my boss on a dating site?" "I used his picture as standard," Mama said calmly. "Tall, clean, fine boy, rich. Now serious men will come out and compete. You will choose the best." "Mummy, that is not how anything works." But it was too late. The blind date started. The first man, Mr. Wong, adjusted his tie across from her at a restaurant in Gangnam. "I know you came for marriage," Tomi said sweetly. "But I don't want to enter the grave of marriage yet. I just want to play." He choked on his water. "Why are you so unvirtuous? Look at your dress. Look at your mouth. I cannot marry a woman like you." "Good," Tomi said, standing. "I also cannot marry a man who calls marriage a grave." The next one came with 5 kids trailing behind him. "Would you mind raising 5 children?" he asked. On, Tomi said. "Uncle, you are already running a nursery." I'm still on probation. She left him at the cafe with his kids and a half-finished latte. By the third blind date, even Jin Woo was tired. He found her outside the lift at work, hair slightly crooked, eyes tired. How was today's candidate? He asked. Brought bride price list before starter, she muttered. I told him I just want free food. Jin Woo laughed, then sighed. My mom is no better. She's already posting my profile on some chaebol matchmaking club. I have 3 suitable daughters of good families this weekend. They looked at each other, the same dread in both faces. This can't continue, Tomi said. I'm running out of insults. And I'm running out of excuses, Jin Woo added. There was a pause. Is your mom pressuring you? He asked. Yes. My mom too. Another pause. Then the same thought landed for both of them. We should unite, Tomi said slowly. Team up. Jin Woo's eyes lit with mischief. Like the fake interview? Exactly. Contract relationship, Tomi declared. We pretend to date in front of parents and aunties only. Strict terms. He crossed his arms. State the terms, Miss Okafor. Number 1, she said, raising a finger. Valid only in front of parents, elders, village people, church members, and nosy neighbors. Number 2, he added, playing along. No real boyfriend-girlfriend drama at work. In the office, you're just my assistant. No oppa shouting. Number 3, Tomi said. No kissing. Except emergency parent-related situations. Jin Woo arched a brow. You added that yourself. Just covering all scenarios, she replied quickly. And number 4, he said softly, eyes on her face. We can exit the contract anytime, if either of us decides we want something real. Tommy's heart skipped, but she forced a grin. Deal, Deputy Manager Han? He held out his hand. Deal, contract girlfriend Tomi. She shook it, trying to act cool. Somewhere in the back of her mind, a small voice whispered that playing fake lovers with a man she still liked was the worst idea ever. But with 2 mothers on their necks, it felt like the only way to breathe. Tomi thought she had seen the worst of Seoul's bachelors. She was wrong. The next week was full of blind dates, all thanks to Mama Okafor's project. One man brought his full family history and a printed dowry list. We should marry quickly, he said. My mother wants grandchildren. Also, your family must bring at least this amount. He slid the paper to her. Tomi scanned it. Uncle, this looks like the budget of a small country, she said. I just came for food. Another man showed up with 2 toddlers. Would you mind raising 5 children? He asked. Aha, Tomi replied. Oga, you already have a football team. I'm still on internship. By the time she dressed up for the next blind date at a fancy restaurant in Gangnam, her patience was gone. Still, she sat opposite a rich Korean businessman, Mr. Choi, as he talked numbers, properties, and how marriage should be a serious contract. I think $200,000 is enough for a bride price, he said calmly. We can sign agreement after dessert. Tomi forced a smile. Appa, can we at least finish the starter before you buy me? Just then, a cold voice cut in from behind. Tomi Okafor? She turned. Eric. He stood there in an expensive suit, arm around a perfectly dressed Korean woman. The mistress from before. You again? Tomi muttered. Eric sneered loudly, making sure nearby tables heard. So this is where you ended up, he said. Dumped by your manager, dumped by his mistress. Now you're here to trap a rich husband. You never change. Mr. Choi frowned. You know each other? This woman is cheap, Eric announced. She slept her way up to her assistant job. When she saw a better target, she ran. That's why I dumped her. The mistress added, Appa, don't let this kind of girl spoil your mood. Look at her dress. Such a person is not worthy of this place. The nearby tables went quiet. Tomi felt heat climb her neck, but she kept her chin up. At least I didn't steal someone's project and someone's man, she said evenly. How's Blue Wave's collapse going? Eric's face twisted. You think you're better than me? I'm a CEO worth over 100 million. You chose a broke assistant over me. Is it worth it? Does he have house? Car? Savings? A familiar voice answered from the doorway. Try again. Han Jin Woo walked in, simple shirt, no tie, but the manager rushed over at once. President Han, the man bowed. Welcome. Eric froze. Jin Woo walked to Tommy's table, eyes calm. Am I late? I heard my assistant was being insulted. Mr. Choi stood quickly. President Han? From Han Group. Yes, Jin Woo said. And tonight, I'm also the man paying this bill. The manager hesitated. Sir, the total consumption tonight is over 800,000. Jin Woo took out one black card. Run it. For the whole restaurant. Gasps went around. A moment later, the POS beeped. Payment successful, the manager said, almost shaking. Everyone, tonight's bill is covered by President Han. The mistress stared. How is that possible? Tomi folded her arms. Eric, you said he'd never have enough money to buy your car, right? People around started whispering. Is that her ex? No wonder she dumped him. Stingy and loud. One waiter stepped forward, face firm. Also, Mr. Eric, we've been told by Han Group not to receive anyone from Blue Wave. Our restaurant belongs to Han Group. Please leave. You can't do this to me. Eric shouted as security moved in. Jin Woo just glanced at him. Some people shout VIP, he said quietly. Real ones don't need to say it. As Eric was dragged out, Tomi looked at Jin Woo. You paid 800,000 like pocket money, she said slowly. Are you sure you're not acting in a drama? He smiled. You said you like CEOs from TV, right? I'm just keeping up. For the first time that night, Tomi laughed, the humiliation on her skin finally cooling. The news about the restaurant Walla spread through Han Group like wildfire. By the end of the week, half the company had seen the clips. President Han paying for an entire restaurant, Blue Wave's ex-CEO being dragged out, Tomi standing there in her simple dress with her chin up. But nobody said it to her face. They just stared a little longer when she walked past. Soon after, it was time for Han Group's annual dinner. Tomi didn't plan to dress up much. To her, it was just another company event where big people talked and small people clapped. She wore a simple black dress Jean helped her rent and sat with the regular staff. On stage, the MC hyped the crowd. This year, he said, we have a special surprise. You all know our vice president. People looked around, eyes searching for manager Han. Tomi glanced at Jin Woo, standing quietly at the side with the other mid-level managers. He gave her that small, calm smile. The vice president has been working undercover, the MC continued, to understand the staff better. So we all thought he was just the assistant to the vice president. Laughter rippled through the hall. Tomi frowned. Tonight, the MC said, let's welcome the real vice president of Han Group and heir of Changjian Group. Vice President Han Jin Woo. Spotlights swung. They landed on Jin Woo. He flinched for half a second, then walked toward the stage while the room erupted in shocked whispers. Tomi's fork slipped from her fingers. Vice President. Heir. Changjian. Images rushed through her head like flashing slides. Jin Woo casually canceling contracts. Jin Woo saying, just tell them it's my order. Do Village Project, where she was chosen as decision-maker. The auction, the royal necklace, 800,000 in a single swipe. No wonder. After the speeches, the dancing, and fake smiles, she slipped away to an empty corridor. He found her there. Tomi, he said softly. You didn't even stay for the toast. She turned to face him, eyes bright but not with happiness. So, she said. Vice President. Heir. Big boss. He sighed. You're angry. A little, she replied. Just a little. Let's count. She lifted a finger. 1. You let me think you were just manager Han. Second finger. 2. You watched me beg people for help while you could change things with one phone call. Third finger. 3. Do Village. You pushed me forward as decision maker, but never told me you were the one holding the real power. Tomi, listen, he said. When my father forced me to come back, I wanted to know what the company really felt like from the ground. If I told you everything from the start, would you have dared to stand on that stage? To face Eric? To end Blue Wave's contract? So you lied. I hid things, he said quietly. But I also backed you up every time. She laughed, but there was no joy inside it. All those times I was shaking, thinking, if I fail, my life is over, she said. You already knew the ending. You were controlling the game from the shadows. I thought I was fighting for myself. Turns out I was just your project. That's not true, he protested. Everything you say now, she cut in, voice sharp, sounds like rubbish in my ears. He flinched. Tomi, you're a CEO, she said, shaking her head. I'm just a small assistant. We are not in the same world. You get to decide my job, my projects, my future, and still act like we're equal. She stepped back. I don't want to be someone's charity case, she whispered. Or someone's game. Congratulations on your big reveal, Vice President Han. But from today, her voice broke for a second, then steadied. From today, stay away from my heart. I need to remember how to stand without you. She turned and walked off, heels clicking down the corridor, leaving him alone with his title, his card, and a hollow echo in his chest. Jin Woo gave Tomi space after the annual dinner. She stopped replying his messages. At work, she was polite, cold, and busy. At home, she locked herself in her room early and claimed to be doing reports. One night, he came back late from a meeting with Min-seo. The lights in the living room were off, but her door was open. A bucket and mop stood in the middle of the floor. "Tomi," he called. "You spilled water everywhere," she answered flatly from inside. "You'll mop the floor tonight." He walked closer. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, arms folded. "Tomi, what are you doing?" he asked. "What does it look like?" she snapped. "I'm watching my boss go on dates with actresses." "So you saw me with Min-seo?" "I saw enough." She glared. "Rich, famous Korean actress. Big smile. Nice dress. And you? Vice President Han. Perfect match." Jin Woo sighed. "It wasn't a date. It was work." "I'm just Tomi, your personal assistant," she said. "No need to explain. Go and be a good son-in-law to the rich family." He sat down on the chair opposite her. "When did you become so cowardly?" she muttered. "Or is it that Min-seo is holding something over your head?" His eyes flickered. "Or did she catch you doing something abroad?" Tomi added. "You ran around naked in campus and she filmed you?" "What?" "No," he choked. "Why is your brain like this?" "Then talk," she said. "Talk before I imagine worse." He rubbed his face and looked at her seriously. "Okay, I'll say it. Don't laugh," he warned. "I'm already laughing inside," she replied. "When I was abroad," he began slowly, "Min-seo tried to keep me." "Keep you?" Tomi repeated. "Like how you keep a puppy. Like a sponsored lover," he said, embarrassed. "Sugar mommy style. She said she liked me. She kept throwing money around. Wanted to buy me clothes, car, apartment. She said if I just stayed with her, I didn't need to work." Tommy's mouth fell open. "You," she said. "As somebody's kept boy?" He winced. "Can you lower your voice?" "She wanted to pay you to date her?" Tomi pressed. "Yes. And you refused?" "Of course I refused," he shot back. "Who do you think I am?" "I'm Han Jin Woo. I have pride." Tomi stared at him for 3 seconds, then covered her face and started laughing. "It's not funny," he complained. "It's very funny," she said. "If it were me, I'd collect half the money and disappear." "What about my innocence?" he asked. She waved a hand. "You already gave me your innocence in university. That one has expired." "Tomi." She leaned back, still smiling, but her eyes were softer now. "So that's why you act so strange around her," she said. "You're scared she'll start waving money again." "I'm not scared of her money," he said. "I'm scared she'll use it to hurt you. She's the type that doesn't accept no. If we fight her openly, she can make things messy. That's why I keep dodging and playing along a little." Tommy's smile faded. Jealousy and worry twisted quietly inside her. "Next time," she said slowly, "if any woman tries that nonsense again, tell me first." He blinked. "Why?" "So I can break your third leg before she does," Tomi replied. "Then nobody will want to sponsor you." Jin Woo choked. "You're crazy." "I'm serious," she said, eyes locking with his. "You already made my life miserable once 3 years ago. If you dare play games behind my back again, I will not just shout. I will attack." He looked at her, really looked at her, jealous, angry, but still sitting there, still talking to him, still caring. "Okay," he said quietly. "No more secrets about Min-seo. No more sugar mommy stories. If anyone tries to throw money at me again, I'll hide behind you." "You better," she answered. Their banter faded into a small, tense silence. The hurt between them wasn't gone, but a tiny bridge had appeared, built with jokes, jealousy, and one very dangerous threat to his third leg. Min-seo did not give up. After the awkward talk at home, things only got worse in the office. The next day, Jin Woo was in his glass cubicle, going through a simple financial report, when Min-seo walked in wearing a soft smile and holding a file like it weighed 1 ton. "Jin Woo," she said sweetly, "I don't really understand this section. Can you explain it to me?" Tomi, who was typing outside, looked up. "That report? Even I understand that one," she thought. Jin Woo glanced at the paper. "This?" he asked. "It's very basic. That's why I'm asking you," Min-seo said, leaning closer. "You explain it better than the team." Before he could answer, Tomi stood, knocked gently on the open door and stepped in. "Deputy Manager Han," she said in a clear voice, "should I prepare the summary for that report?" Min-seo turned. "Assistant Tomi, this is supervisor-level work. I'm discussing it with Jin Woo." Tomi smiled. "I know. But if supervisor, you can't understand such a simple report, maybe the problem is the report or the supervisor. Minaseo's smile froze. Jin Woo coughed. Tommy. What? Tommy asked. I'm helping. Supervisor you, should I break it down, or will you go along with deputy manager and learn properly? Minanseo had no choice. It's fine, she muttered. You explain, Jin Woo. He went through it line by line. Tommy stood behind, arms folded, dropping small comments. So if supervisor approves this, Tommy said lightly, it means she finally understands basic cash flow. Progress. Minaseo's nails dug into the file, but she kept her gentle face on. Later at lunch, the war moved to the cafeteria. Word had already spread. The pretty actress supervisor seemed close to Deputy Manager Han, but the Nigerian assistant was always by his side. Staff were watching. Tommy carried her tray and sat beside Jin Woo like it was the most natural thing. You didn't take soup, she said. You'll get gastritis. I'm fine, he replied. She rolled her eyes, pulled his tray closer, scooped rice and stew, and held the spoon up. Open your mouth, she said. You still eat like a child. The whole table went quiet. People pretended to be checking their phones, but their ears were sharp. Jin Woo stared at the spoon. Tommy, this is the company cafeteria. And, she asked, we were classmates before we were co-workers. Childhood friend privileges. Eat. He sighed and took the bite. The staff at the next table gasped softly. So, of course, that was the moment Minanseo walked in. She froze when she saw Tommy feeding him. Then she pasted on her gentle smile and came over with her tray. Jin Woo, she said. There was no space elsewhere. Can I sit here? Sit, he replied. Tommy shifted slightly, but did not move away. She picked another piece of chicken and held it up again. Slow down, she told him. You always forget to eat when you're busy. A junior staff whispered behind them. They're definitely dating. Another replied. He even lets her feed him. That's not normal colleague behavior. Minanseo heard every word. Her grip tightened on her chopsticks. Tommy SSI, she said softly. You seem very close to Deputy Manager Han. We grew up together, Tommy answered, still calm. We take care of each other. You know how it is with childhood friends. Jin Woo almost choked at how sweet she sounded. Minanseo smiled, but her eyes were cold. I see. Then I'll have to learn how to get along with him too. Tommy looked at her, all innocence. You can try, she said. But you'll need more than fake helplessness and basic questions. The green tea battle had officially begun. After the cafeteria drama, Minanseo realized one thing. As long as Tommy was beside Han Jin Woo, she would never win. So she changed strategy. That evening, Jin Woo got a message from Director Hyo, a sleazy businessman they sometimes collaborated with. Director Hyo. Vice President Han, let's have a small drink tonight with an important investor. It's good for Han Group. Suite 1808, Myri Hotel. Minanseo just happened to pass his desk. Jin Woo, she said, voice soft. Director Hyo invited us for drinks. I know you don't like these things, but it's about the resort and future projects. I'll be there too. Don't worry. He hesitated. Something felt off. But work was work. Fine, he said. Just business. Nothing else. At Myri Hotel, Director Hyo was already laughing too loudly, pouring drinks like water. Vice President Han, he shouted. You finally came. Sit, sit. Let's toast to future cooperation. Jin Woo sat, face calm. Minanseo slid beside him, pressing a glass into his hand. Just one, she said. You can handle it. He took a sip. It tasted normal. But by the third round, his head started feeling heavy, his vision a little slow. Strange, he thought. I don't get drunk this fast. Across from him, Minanseo's smile turned sharper. Director Hyo checked his watch and stood. I'll leave you young people to talk. I still have a call to make. He walked out, closing the door. Now it was just Minanseo and Jin Woo in the hotel suite. She moved closer. Jin Woo, are you okay? Your face is red. Maybe lie down for a bit. He tried to stand, but his legs were weak. Something's wrong, he muttered. Minanseo helped him to the bed, but her hands were not innocent. She took out her phone with one hand, unbuttoned his collar with the other. If I get the right photos tonight, she thought. Let's see if Annie still pushes that poor Nigerian girl on him. Jin Woo fought to stay awake. His fingers fumbled for his phone. He didn't have time to type much. He opened his chat with Tommy and sent 2 short messages. Jin Woo, Suite 1808. Myri Hotel. Jin Woo, SOS. Then everything blurred. Tomi was at home in sweats, editing a report, when the messages came in. Her heart dropped. Myri Hotel? SOS? She repeated. Her mind moved fast. Drug. Trap. Actress. Old sugar mommy style. She grabbed her bag and raced out. 10 minutes later, she was banging on the door of Suite 1808. Open the door, she shouted. Inside, Minacio froze. Who is it? Tomi, came the voice. Assistant Okafor from Han Group. Open before I knock this door down. Minacio cursed under her breath, rushed to the door, and opened it just a crack. Why are you here? This is a private meeting. Tomi pushed the door wide and walked in. Jin Woo was half lying on the bed, shirt open, eyes unfocused. Tomi's rage rose like fire. So this is your strategy, she said coldly. Drug him, take pictures, then cry responsibility later, right? You're misunderstanding, Minacio snapped. He drank too much. I was just helping. Tomi grabbed a pillow and threw it at her. Help yourself out of this room. She went to Jin Woo, lifted his arm over her shoulder. Han Jin Woo, she said loudly. I told you before. I won't let you lose your innocence for free. Even if someone wants to use you, I must at least collect money first. His lips twitched weakly. You so stingy, he mumbled. Minacio grabbed Tomi's wrist. You can't take him. If this leaks, do you know what will happen? Tomi looked her straight in the eye. If you dare touch him again, I'll break your career first, then your face. She shook Minacio off, dragged Jin Woo up with surprising strength, and half carried, half pulled him out of the room. In the hallway, Jin Woo leaned heavily on her, head on her shoulder. Tomi, he whispered, eyes closing. You really came. She tightened her grip. Of course I came. I'm your contract girlfriend, remember? Only I'm allowed to ruin your life. He gave a weak laugh. Sleep, she said softly. I've got you. The day after the hotel incident, Jin Woo was back to his usual cold-faced self at work, but Tomi could tell he was still shaken. She was still angry enough to bite Minacio, but she kept quiet. Late afternoon, Jin Woo walked over to her desk, expression tight. My mom called, he said. She wants you at dinner tonight. Me? Tomi pointed at herself. Why me? I'm just your assistant. And my contract girlfriend, he reminded her. She also invited you, Minacio. Tomi blinked. Ah, battle of the daughters-in-law. He tried not to smile. You don't have to go if you don't want to. Oh, I'm going, Tomi said. Someone tried to drug you yesterday. I need to see what she'll put in the soup. The Han house dining room was big, but tonight it felt even smaller. Madame Han sat at the head of the table, elegant and composed. Beside her was Chairman Han. On one side sat Jin Woo and Tomi. On the other side, Minacio, in a soft designer dress, makeup perfect. Tomi SSI, welcome, Madame Han said with a polite smile. Jin Woo talks about you sometimes. You're from Nigeria, right? Yes, ma, Tomi replied. From Enugu. Thank you for having me. So international, Madame Han nodded. Minacio also has an international background. She was a drama actress abroad, very popular. Minacio gave a modest smile. Auntie, you flatter me. They started eating. For a while, only the sound of chopsticks and plates filled the air. Then Madame Han spoke again, her eyes on Minacio. You Minacio's family is old money. Her parents are close to us. Her career is stable. She understands public image very well. These things are important for a chaebol wife. Mom, Jin Woo warned quietly. Tomi just picked up a piece of beef and chewed slowly. Minacio placed her chopsticks down gently. Auntie, you're too kind. Compared to me, Tomi SSI is very different. But different can be interesting. She turned, smiling sweetly at Tomi. It must be hard for you, right? Coming from a simple background, working with big numbers, big companies, rich families. Tomi swallowed her food calmly. Simple background is not a sickness, Uni. It just means my family didn't hide money in the walls. Chairman Han choked on his tea. Jin Woo coughed to hide a laugh. Madame Han's lips twitched, but she stayed neutral. Money isn't everything, she said slowly. But it does affect power. Minacio leaned in a little. I just mean marriage to someone like Jin Woo isn't easy. The pressure, media, business. Not everyone can handle it. Some girls might think rich husband, easy life. But chaebol family is not a fairy tale. Tomi nodded. True. That's why I've never said I want to marry into a rich family. Madame Han looked at her. No, ma. I'm peaceful in my lane, Tomi said. If anybody is almost being kept here, it's your son. Rich actress flying across the world to chase him, throw money at him, Try to buy him like handbag. She tilted her head. If we're talking about kept people, Jin Woo is the one in danger. Jin Woo pressed his lips together, eyes shining with amusement and shame. Tommy. Minasio's smile tightened. You make it sound like I'm some sugar mommy. Oh no, Tommy said lightly. Sugar mommies are honest. They say, I'll pay, you follow me. You use drug in hotel room. That one is film villain behavior. Silence dropped over the table. Madame Han's eyes sharpened. Drug, she repeated. Minacio stiffened. She's joking, auntie. Just Nigerian humor. Very vivid. Tommy held Madame Han's gaze. I don't joke with medicine, Ma. For a brief moment, the air turned heavy. Chairman Han shifted uncomfortably. Jin Woo's hand under the table brushed Tommy's knee, a silent be careful. Madame Han slowly set her chopsticks down. Her voice stayed calm, but her eyes had turned cold and clear. I see, she said. So there are more things I need to know. Minacio forced a laugh. Auntie, let's not spoil dinner. We're all friends here. Tommy smiled, but her eyes were firm. Yes, friends. That's why everything should be clear, right? Between the four adults, Jin Woo sat quietly, watching his mother's face, knowing very well. This dinner had changed something, and not in Minacio's favor. The next weekend, Madame Han invited them again. This time it was just family, no Minacio, no guests. At least that was what Jin Woo thought. He and Tommy walked into the living room and stopped. Minacio was already there, sitting close to Madame Han, smiling like nothing had ever happened. Auntie, try this, Minacio said sweetly, opening a small glass bottle. It's herbal medicine from my family's doctor. Good for your chest and your cough. Tommy's heart tightened. Again, Madame Han watched quietly as Minacio poured a little brown liquid into her teacup. The smell was faintly bitter, but there was another scent under it, sharp wrong. Really? Madame Han asked calmly. You brought it personally? Yes, Auntie, Mincio said. I care about you a lot. Jin Woo walked in then. He froze when he saw the bottle in her hand. What are you doing? He asked. Helping Auntie, she said. You don't even notice her health. Tommy's skin crawled. Her eyes went to Madame Han's hand. The older woman lifted the teacup, sniffed it once, then smiled. So thoughtful, Madame Han murmured. I'll drink it. Before anyone could react, she took a sip. Annio. Jin Woo moved forward too late. For a moment, everything was normal. Then Madame Han's face went pale. She clutched her chest, swayed, and collapsed against the sofa. Amma! Jin Woo shouted, catching her. Call an ambulance. Tommy ran for her phone, fingers shaking. Minacio stepped back, real fear flashing over her face. I didn't do anything, she stammered. It's just herbal, maybe she reacted. Shut up, Jin Woo snapped, eyes wild. If anything happens to my mom. They rushed Madame Han to the hospital. Nurses rolled her into emergency. Jin Woo paced the hallway like a trapped animal, fists clenched. Tommy tried to speak, but his jaw was too tight. After what felt like hours, a doctor came out. Her condition is stable, he said. There were traces of something strange in the tea sample you brought, but we checked her. She didn't actually swallow much. Almost none. Jin Woo blinked. What do you mean? The doctor shrugged. From how it looks, she might have pretended to drink and only let it touch her mouth. Her system is fine. Tommy's eyes widened. She acted. Later, in a private hospital room, Madame Han sat up on the bed, still in her gown, but her eyes were sharp and clear. Don't look at me like that, she told her son. I'm not that easy to kill. Amma, Jin Woo whispered, voice breaking. You scared me. She sighed and touched his hair. I smelled the drug the moment it hit the cup. It was similar to something I saw in the past. I just needed proof and witnesses. Tommy stared. So you pretended to faint? I needed Han Group and you Group to show their true faces, Madame Han said. We already checked the liquid. It didn't come from any doctor. It came from someone desperate. She looked at Jin Woo. From today, Han Group cuts all cooperation with you Group. Personally and in business. I will handle the board. Jin Woo nodded, jaw tight. Good. I don't want any ties with her. Madame Han turned to Tommy then, her voice softer. Tommy SSI. Yes, Ma? I know my son, she said quietly. He is proud, stubborn, foolish. But 3 years ago, he left because of family pressure, not because he wanted to throw you away. This time, he stayed and stood beside you against everyone. Tommy's throat burned. Madame Han reached for her hand. You don't owe him anything. Your heart is yours. But if you still feel something, even a little, do this for me. Give him one more chance. Not for his sake. For mine. Tomi looked at Jin Woo, eyes red, pretending to be strong, and her chest tightened. I'll think about it, she whispered. For the first time that day, Madame Han smiled in real relief. 2 days after the hospital drama, Tomi stared at her phone for a long time before finally typing. Tomi, let's cook for your mom. Jin Woo, together? Tomi, yes. Don't be happy. It's to say thank you. He replied in 2 seconds. Jin Woo, send location. I'll come carry basket and body. At the supermarket, Jin Woo grabbed the first pack of neatly wrapped vegetables. Perfect, he said. Looks clean, price is okay. Tomi slapped his hand lightly. Oga, no. Put it back. Why? It's the same thing. That one you're paying for nylon and fine printing. This one, she tapped the loose vegetables in a plain crate, is cheaper and the same food. He looked from one to the other. So I've been robbed all my life. Rich boy problems, she said. Today you'll learn sense. They moved aisle to aisle. Tomi pushed the trolley. Jin Woo followed like an obedient intern. She held up 2 packs of meat. Which one? He pointed at the one with pretty label. That one. She shook her head. Wrong. Look at weight. Look at price. Do the maths. This one is better. He took both, frowned, actually calculated. Ah, you're right. Of course. In this life, if you don't calculate, you will cry at the counter. He watched her compare brands, check small print, separate items into little groups on the trolley. What are you doing now? He asked. Coupons, she said, bringing out her phone. This one, spend 20,000, get 2,000 off. This other one, get discount on oil. We can't mix anyhow. He stared. So we are planning 4 different payments. Yes. We will suffer small now and smile later. He laughed. That means, without you, I will die inside supermarket. She gave a small smile, still not looking at him. Without me, you'll just overpay. He stepped closer. Tomi. I don't just need you in the office, he said quietly. I need you in my life. Not as my assistant. As you. She froze. Her heart jumped, but her mouth stayed sharp. Talk to POS machine first. If discount fails, I'm breaking this relationship. He grinned. So there is relationship? She rolled her eyes. Finish groceries, Han Jin Woo. At the counter, they really did 4 payments. The cashier looked tired. Tomi looked proud. Jin Woo held the bags, shaking his head. You enjoy this, right? Yes, she said. Every 1,000 we save is 1 more chicken wing in this life. His phone buzzed. He checked the screen. His face changed. It's from home. They said Mom collapsed again. The plastic bags cut into Tomi's fingers. What? He was already moving. Let's go. They rushed to the Han house. Jin Woo almost dropped the bags at the door. Amma, he called. Madame Han was on the sofa, sitting up, talking calmly with Auntie Fan. She turned, surprised by the noise. What is it? She asked. Why are you shouting? Jin Woo stopped. They said you collapsed. Auntie Fan lifted her hands. Young master, I only said she felt lightheaded and sat down. I didn't say she died. Tomi let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. Her knees felt weak. Madame Han noticed the bags. What is all this? Tomi swallowed. We went to buy things. I wanted to cook for you. To say thank you. Madame Han's eyes softened. You two carried all that. Tomi did the brain work, Jin Woo said. I just carried load. He started listing the dishes they planned. Halfway, Madame Han smiled, then reached out her hand. Tomi SSI, she said gently. Come. Tomi stepped closer. Madame Han took her hand with both of hers, warm and firm. You already feel like family, she said. No need to say thank you from far. Just stay close. Tomi's eyes stung. She nodded. Yes, Ma. Beside them, Jin Woo watched their joined hands and let out a small, relieved laugh. Good, he said softly. Now my 2 hardest bosses are on the same side. The Monday after the supermarket visit, Tomi came into the office with a plan. No more fake girlfriend. No more soft heart. Work only. She dropped her bag, opened her laptop, and tried to ignore how empty her desk looked without the small snacks Jin Woo used to sneak there. 5 minutes later, a delivery man rolled in 3 large bags. Excuse me, he called. Breakfast for planning department. Paid already. Everyone's head popped up. Breakfast? For us? He started reading names. Kim Hyejin. Park Minho. Lee Jun. Tomi Okafor. Tomi blinked. Me too. The delivery man nodded. All from one person. Han Jin Woo. The whole department turned to look at her at the same time. "Madam President," one guy whispered, "your husband is too generous." "Which husband?" Tomi snapped. "I'm single. Very single." Her friend Hygiene grinned. "Single, but your breakfast is double. Look, he added extra egg for you." Tomi glared at the packed food, but her stomach growled loudly. Everyone heard. The room went quiet for 1 second, then burst into laughter. "Eat jor," a Nigerian colleague from finance said as he passed. "No use forming strong woman on an empty stomach." Tomi snatched the food. "Fine. I'm only eating because money must not waste." She opened it. It was her favorite. Simple porridge with egg and a small note tucked under the lid. "Eat first. Fight me later. Jay." She squeezed the paper hard, then folded it and kept it in her drawer instead of tearing it. At the 10 a.m. meeting, Tomi presented the progress on the smaller resort follow-up. The room was full, managers, department heads, even a board member. She stood, hands slightly shaking, but her voice stayed steady. "This is our updated plan for the local partner rollout." Someone interrupted. "Are you sure these numbers are realistic?" Before Jin Woo could speak, she answered. "Yes. Legal and audit already checked. If we follow this schedule, we reduce risk and still hit target." The board member turned to Jin Woo. "Deputy Manager Han, your view?" Jin Woo tapped the file. "My view? Tomi is right. I reviewed it last night." She led the whole process. He leaned back and kept quiet, letting her continue. By the end of the meeting, 2 teams were asking Tomi for help on their own projects. In the corridor, Hygiene bumped her shoulder. "Madam President, your man really loves you. He gave you the whole stage." "He doesn't love anybody," Tomi muttered. "He loves work and trouble." "But you like him," Hygiene teased. "Your ears turn red whenever he talks." Tomi covered her ears. "My ears are my own business." Later that week, more breakfast arrived. Every day. Different meals, same sender. When she tried to return one bowl to his office, his secretary stopped her. "Assistant Tomi, if you don't eat it, he refuses to eat his own." Tomi stood there, holding the warm container. "He lied to me," she said quietly. "Big lies." The secretary sighed. "I know. But since you two fought, he has been more serious than ever. He pushes your name in every meeting. Says, 'Let Tomi handle it.' She can." Tomi looked through the glass at Jin Woo inside, bent over a file, face tired but focused. She turned away before he could look up. "Fine," she said. "I'll eat. For the sake of company productivity." The secretary smiled. "And for the sake of your stubborn heart." Tomi didn't answer. She just walked back to her desk, opened the breakfast, and took a slow, careful bite, pretending she didn't notice how it tasted exactly the way she liked it. The Han Group annual party felt almost like a second New Year for the staff. Everyone was dressed up, cameras were out, and the stage lights hit the company logo like it was a celebrity. Jin Woo walked on stage in a simple black suit. No crown, no big drama, just calm confidence. "Everyone," he said into the mic, "this year, you all worked very hard. So from next quarter, we'll test a 4-day work, 3-day rest schedule for core teams." The hall exploded. 4 days? Are we dreaming?" And, he added, "average salaries will go up by 20,001 per month for confirmed staff." Now they were screaming. One guy almost hugged his manager. Hygiene grabbed Tomi's arm. "Your man is too good. If he wasn't yours, I would have shot my shot." "He's not mine," Tomi muttered, but the smile on her face didn't match her words. Later, while the staff moved tables to clear space for dancing, Tomi slipped backstage to adjust the strap of the free dress HR had arranged for her. It was simple but pretty, a little more daring than her usual style. She was fixing the side zip when she heard voices. "Jin Woo," Minseo said softly. "We need to talk." Tomi froze behind the curtain. "We've talked enough," Jin Woo replied. "What is it this time?" "The opening dance," Minseo said. "Dance it with me." "No," he answered at once. She laughed lightly. "If you dance with me in front of everyone, I'll resign from Han Group after tonight. I'll stop disturbing you and Tomi. No more calls. No more visits. I walk away clean." Silence. Tomi's heart skipped. "Resign? For real? You expect me to believe that?" Jin Woo asked. "I'm serious," Minseo said. "You know I don't like losing. If you choose me in front of her, she'll give up. And I'll keep my word. I'll leave." Tomi stepped out then. "So you want him to use me as a prop to send you off?" Min Seo turned, lips curling. "Ah, Tomi SSI. You're here." Tomi folded her arms. I thought actresses only act on set. I didn't know the performance continues backstage. Minacio smiled, eyes sharp. I'm just making an offer. If he dances with me once, I disappear. Isn't that what you want? Or are you scared he'll choose me? Tomi met her gaze. I'm not scared of you. I'm only tired of rubbish. She looked at Jin Woo. Answer her. Right here. Do you still plan to stand between both sides forever? His jaw tensed. I already said no. Minacio stepped closer to Tomi. You really trust him? Men like Jin Woo choose what is good for the company, not what is good for their heart. I have the money, the name, the image. You have what exactly? Tommy's voice stayed calm. I have history with him. I have the one thing you'll never have, his real self. The one who eats burnt toast and complains. The one who can't shop at the supermarket without using calculator. Minacio scoffed. You think that's enough? Tomi leaned in slightly. Listen well. He already chose me the day he stopped hiding behind you. Even if he falls 10 times, when he stands, he will still face my side. He is not allowed to choose you over me again. Not in this life. Minacio's eyes flickered just for a second. A staff member poked his head in. Deputy Manager Han, the opening dance is about to start. Everyone's waiting. Jin Woo looked from Minacio to Tomi, then gave a small smile. Good, he said. Let them watch properly. The music for the annual party changed to something slow and soft. Staff were still talking about the surprise bonus and new work schedule, faces bright with excitement. Tomi stood at the edge of the hall, fingers tight around her clutch. Her heart was not bright at all. She kept hearing Minacio's voice from backstage. If he dances the opening dance with me, I'll resign and never disturb you again. Tomi had laughed in her face then, but now her stomach twisted. If he chooses her, what will I do? Everyone in the company now knew the truth. There was no more Manager Han mystery. Han Jin Woo, her so-called boss and fake boyfriend, was the vice president and heir of Han Group and Changian Group. People pretended nothing had changed, but Tomi saw the way some of them looked at her now, like she was holding a winning lottery ticket. On the small stage, the MC raised the mic. Everyone, he said, grinning, to open our dance floor tonight, our vice president will lead the first dance with the partner of his choice. A wave of whispers rolled through the hall. It will be you, Minacio, right? She's so perfect for him. What about assistant Tomi? Minacio stepped forward confidently in her glittering dress, already smiling like the winner. Tomi's chest tightened. Don't embarrass yourself, she warned her own heart. If he chooses her, just turn and walk away. Jin Woo walked down the steps slowly. His face was calm, but his eyes were searching. When he saw Tomi, something in his shoulders relaxed. He walked straight past Minacio. Her smile cracked. He stopped in front of Tomi and held out his hand. Tomi Okafor, he said softly. Will you dance with me? The staff gasped. Some clapped. Others stared openly. Tomi's throat felt tight. In front of everybody, she whispered. He smiled a little. You faced worse in front of everybody. She remembered the resort press conference, the Blue Wave scandal, the fake royal necklace, Eric on his knees. Somehow, she was always in the spotlight when he moved pieces around her. Still, she put her hand in his. Just one dance, she warned. They walked to the center as people cheered. The music wrapped around them. Jin Woo's hand rested on her waist, his other hand enclosing hers. You're shaking, he said quietly. I'm not, she lied. You are. His fingers brushed lightly against her back. Tomi, thank you for standing here with me. She looked up at him. For a moment, it was just them like old times. Childhood teasing. Late-night noodles. The day he left without a word. Around them, whispers started again. So that's really his girlfriend? Assistant and Vice President Wah. She must be so lucky. Or smart. Or both. Each comment felt like a pin. When the song ended, he didn't let go immediately. He squeezed her hand, as if trying to say something without words. But as they walked off the dance floor, Tomi caught the way some women looked at her, jealous, sharp, calculating. Some men looked at Jin Woo with new distance, like he was even higher now and she was just a ladder. Her chest grew tight. He leaned closer. Come with me for a bit? Let's get some air. She pulled her hand away. No, I'm fine. Tomi, do you know what happens in their heads now? She asked quietly. In this whole company? He frowned. They already knew I'm vice president. This is not new. Yes, they knew about you, she said, voice low. But tonight you held my hand in front of them and made it look like I climbed all the way up by hooking the air. That's not true, he said quickly. You worked hard. You earned. It doesn't matter what you know, she cut in. They see a simple Nigerian assistant and a chaebol heir. That's all. You keep making big decisions with my life in public without asking me first. Projects. Promotions. Now this. His jaw tightened. I was just tired of hiding. I thought you'd want me to stand by you openly. She laughed, but there was no joy in it. You stood by me. But you also put a big light on my head and told everyone to judge. He took a step closer. Tomi, please. Don't twist my heart like this. I chose you in front of Min SEO, in front of the whole company. I didn't ask you to prove anything, she said. Her eyes were shiny now. I only wanted honesty. Not surprises that make me feel small. He reached for her. Let's talk properly. Don't walk away again. We are from different worlds, Jin Woo, she whispered. You keep reminding me without even trying. Before he could answer, she turned and walked out of the hall, leaving him standing there in his perfect suit, surrounded by applause and music that suddenly felt very far away. In his chest, something broke again. He had finally chosen her in public, but somehow, he was still losing her in private. Tomi slammed her apartment door and leaned against it, chest still tight. Different worlds, she whispered to herself, wiping her eyes. Nonsense. A soft knock came almost immediately. Tomi, it's me. Jin Woo's voice was calm but tired. If you want me to leave after I talk, I'll go. Just let me talk first. She hesitated, then unlocked the door and walked away to the living room. It's open. He stepped in quietly, suit jacket off, tie loose, the confident vice president from the stage gone. She sat on the edge of the sofa, arms folded. You have 5 minutes, Mr. Vice President. He didn't sit. He stood in front of her like a guilty student. 3 years ago, he began. My dad called me in the middle of the night. My mom was overseas. Critical. He said if I didn't come, I might never see her again. Tomi blinked but stayed silent. I rushed to the airport. In the process, my phone fell and died. When I reached there, hospital rules, time zone, no local SIM. Everything was chaos. By the time I fixed my phone, messages had piled up. Your missed calls. Your texts. He swallowed. I panicked. I thought, if I come back with all this half-story, you'll leave me anyway. I was a coward. So instead of explaining, I blocked you. Her eyes flashed. So you agree you're a coward? Yes, he said simply. I was. I hurt you because I was scared. And when I came back, my father told me the truth about the company, about being heir. He started pushing me to marry for status. Everything became heavy. The only thing that felt normal was you, so I stayed far watching. Watching and playing God with my life, she cut in. Moving projects, contracts, making me your puppet. He shook his head. Not puppet. I wanted you to have power with your own name on it. Do Village, the resort project. I didn't do it to control you. I did it because I was terrified the world would swallow you the way it almost swallowed me. A tear rolled down her cheek. She stood and hit his chest with her fist. Then why didn't you just tell me? Am I a child? Do I look like somebody you must hide truth from? He didn't dodge. He let her push and hit him again. Because I thought if you saw everything, money, title, family politics, you'd run, he said quietly. And I can't survive you disappearing twice. Her fist slowed. You lie too much, Jin Woo. I know, he breathed. So ask me anything. No more lies. She stared at him for a long moment, memories flooding in. Him standing between her and Eric on the street, him giving her decision-making power, him drinking for her at the staff dinner, him rushing out half-drugged from that hotel room, him quietly placing breakfast on her desk. He raised his eyes. Tomi, living together means same room, not same bed. Remember? Despite herself, her lips twitched. Idiot. He stepped closer. Back then, it was a joke to survive parent pressure. A contract. Now he took a slow breath. Can we promote that contract? From fake to official? From assistant and manager to woman and man. She looked away, heart racing. I'll observe you first. He froze. I said I'll observe you, she repeated, wiping her face. 3 years you used to confuse me. This time, I'll use small time to monitor you properly. Hope slipped into his voice. So, official observation? As your what? She rolled her eyes. As my boyfriend, please. Don't make me say it twice. His shoulders dropped in relief. A small, disbelieving laugh escaped him. Okay, I accept the position. No salary. Only benefits. She slapped his arm lightly. Be serious. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a simple silver ring chain. This is not a proposal, he said. Not yet. It's just a promise. I won't disappear again. No more ghosting. If I have to leave, you'll be the first to know, not the last. He held it out with both hands. Tomi Okafor, will you be my official girlfriend, with full benefits and no expiry date? She looked at the chain, then at his face. No games, no mask, just a scared rich boy in love. Slowly, she took it. Final warning, Jin Woo. If you run again, I will fly to wherever you are and break your third leg. He smiled, eyes shining. Deal. She stepped into his arms at last, resting her head on his shoulder. Okay then, she whispered. This time we'll stay in the same room. And maybe one day the same bed. He held her tighter, like he finally believed she was real and staying. I'm not going anywhere again, he murmured. Not without you. Thank you so much for staying with us till the very end of this story. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear the lessons you learned and your thoughts on how we can continue improving to give you the very best. Here at Moonlit Stories, every tale is crafted with passion, care, and dedication. Our mission is simple: to entertain, inspire, and connect us all across cultures and hearts. So, keep the conversation alive in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Till next time, we are Moonlit Stories, bringing you amazing tales that touch hearts and spark imaginations. Stay blessed. Stay inspired. See you in the next story.